back to the YouTube channel at Pro Enzo Vidz, and tonight is the Ankle Breaker Podcast, episode 62. So tonight's back. Last week we had the week off because it was the Queen's birthday, or the King's birthday now, and I guess it wasn't the day to do it, but it's back. The podcast is returning, and there's no sweeter feeling than the Ankle Breaker Podcast making its return on a beautiful 7 p.m. Monday night. So it should be a good show coming up. But as always, got regular co-host All at Champa returning as well. And we've got two special guests for tonight. So obviously we've got Cody Games Playstation, Dragons Fan Guy. Originally, Dragons Fan Guy wasn't actually named to come on, but thanks to a message by him, he was interested in coming on. And look, I don't knock back any fans that want to join a live stream or a podcast of mine. So he was more than welcome to come on. And it should be a good show. So I will start with you first, Dragons Fan Guy. How you been, bro? And thank you for making a late appearance to the podcast tonight.
Oh, it's all good. I'm really good. Just a bit tired from rehearsals today, but I'm really keen to talk footy and really keen for Ben Hunt to go. So it's about all I can say.
Yeah, no, that's good, bro. It's good to see your performing's a bit bigger, but we will talk into the Ben Hunt stuff soon because that's a massive drama. And Cody, how are you, bro? Thanks for coming on again as a well, actually for the first time I should say as a host or a guest on the channel. So how you been, bro?
Yeah, I've been very well, other than being very tired with work, a very long week, and the bloody cold. I've been going well.
Yeah, no, tell me about the cold's getting to me too. It's been way too cold, I feel like. And Champa, the regular co-host, how you been, mate? And Alex 12 finally scored.
Yeah, of course, Alex Tor. I loved seeing that on Saturday. Even though if that was the only try that we scored that night, it was great to see Alex Tor go over the white line, and man, the crowd was going crazy. I was going crazy. I was all the way up in Maitland for a holiday, watching it inside of a hotel. And let me tell you, I had the beers next to me, and I was loving every minute of it. So great to see Tor go over for a score. Great to see him finally grab a meat pie after like 100 and something games.
17,
it's great to see.
Very long.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
It's
very
fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, well, obviously we've always talked about Alex 12 getting no tries, and he was always due for a meat pie, so it's just a relief now he's flying across the white line and he's found a try at least. But I guess credit to the Tigers, despite them losing, I think letting only 12 score shows the team effort there. That's some dedication to and respect to 12's name. So
I loved every minute of it.
Oh well, it is what it is. But no, we'll get into the podcast now. But before we do start, I'll go through who's in the live chat. So currently got 8 people watching as we speak. Got CJ Moxon in chat, William Pearson, Jason Reader, Devil Sai, Rupi Akawasi, Nick from Australia, Warriors NRL Fanatics, and so on. No, it's good crowd so far. Happy with it, and hopefully enjoy the show tonight. Should be a good show. But actually, before we do start the podcast, Champa, I'll let you speak on your behalf on this one. You've got some news to share that's unfortunately happened.
Yeah, I just found out not too long ago, about I'd say 30 minutes before the podcast start. My old under 14s and under 15s coach, Paulie Hardworth, he sadly passed away due to Alzheimer's and dementia, and he was 72. And yeah, I just found out 30 minutes ago. Paulie was a great man. He loved footy. He grew up as a passionate Bulldogs fan, and he just loved. He was all footy, and he was a big part of me learning the game at such a young age. And he was my old Blacktown Workers coach. So as paying tribute to Paulie and to his family, to his lovely wife and his 2 sons, I thought I'd wear the my old Blacktown Workers jersey in memory of him. And this is a huge tribute to just one of the best men I ever knew growing up. So Paulie Hardworth, or as we always call him, Hard as Nails. Hey, crack open a beer and enjoy the show from up there. Rest in peace, brother.
No, beautifully well said, bro. It's always hard losing, I guess, someone that's made a big impact in your life. So I'm sure you're hurting Champa, but I hope his family are doing all right. So yeah, no, well said, bro. It was a nice touch there. But we will get into the podcast now. So obviously, as always, we do go through our thoughts in the round. So round 16 was an origin affected round because players were out and obviously teams had to buy. But Cody Games Playstation, mate, what was your thoughts in the round? I know Rabbitohs didn't play, but after yourself watching how the round panned out, how'd you think of it?
Well, I enjoyed the 2 points finally. I think it was more of a forward first round, honestly. The first 2 games, the Knights and Roosters and the Cowboys Panthers were the better games, and we had 3 absolute wipeouts for the last 3 games to wrap up round 16. Especially with Eels Manly. I wonder how you felt when you were at the game.
Oh, don't remind me. Seriously, please, mate. That was hard enough. Yeah, no, it wasn't a good night, that one. Especially losing to my biggest rivals of the club, but also the club I hate the most. Yeah, no, I hate the feeling of still feeling that loss. It was just too hard to take. But yeah, no, it was an alright round, I suppose. Dragons fan guy, what was your thoughts on the round, mate?
I was only able to watch 3 games of the round this week just due to being out with local football stuff. So I thought from the games I watched the Panthers, Cowboys, Eels, Manly, and the Bulldogs game. I thought they were decent. I didn't see the other ones, but I thought it was a decent round considering with all the Origin players, and I actually felt sorry for Manly one time. I hate Para. My uncle's the biggest Para supporter, so I really hate Para, and I was really disappointed for you. So it's my honest thoughts of the round.
Yeah, no, well said. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's on us. Unfortunately, it's on us. It's disappointing that we play like that. I know we had players out, but we also had a lot of players out themselves. But overall, disappointing performance, and we're going to go again this week now. And Champa obviously wasn't the result for the Tigers, but what was your thoughts on the round, bro?
Look, a very interesting round. The Cowboys made me ate my words. Man, I was all Panthers. I said, no, this is the Panthers side. This New South Wales Cup players that are coming through, they're going to tear up this Cowboys side. They ended up winning in Golden Point. So, look, that was an entertaining match. I thought the Saturday games were, even though most of them were blowouts, I still found some enjoyment. Obviously, not the result I wanted for the West Tigers. Now we're coming off 3 straight losses, but come on. Twor scored. Twirly finally scored. That's all. I'm just up that. We may have picked up an L, but I think Twor going over the line was a fat W, and I loved every bit of it. Other than that, I thought the Roosters and Knights game was a very close game. Great performance from Joseph Minor, our fullback, I should add. Unfortunately, Manly Para wasn't the result you wanted. It just shows that Para can play even without some of their big name players like Mitchell Moses. And also the Cronulla Bulldogs. Yeah, what a blowout game that was. But other than that, big scorelines, some close games, but a very interesting round of footy, I should say.
Yeah, no, 100%, bro. I agree. Just want to say someone's audio keeps making a echo effect, so just thought I might bring that up. Don't know who it is, but as for my thoughts in the round, yeah, look, I guess it wasn't a result for my team because we lost, but as to how the rest of the round went, I thought it was not the worst round because there was worse rounds this year, but I think just looking at how games were, obviously less players because of Origin would affect most teams, which it did. So it wasn't perfect, but I think there were games like we all said before, Panthers and the Cowboys was all right. That was a pretty good game towards the end there. Games like Manly Eels and Sharks Bulldogs were one of the games that probably were disappointing for the round because they're all blowouts. So that made it hard to enjoy. Roosters Knights wasn't that bad. That was close, I thought, but didn't watch the game that much. But Tigers and Storm was obviously another blowout I should mention. But Yeah, look, not a perfect round, not much to really, I guess, digest, but, you know, that's what happens when Origin footy comes around, you know. Not everyone's going to be at their 100% best, so, yeah, look, it is what it is. Happens in these Origin rounds anyway. But, yeah, that's that. But we will move into our player of the round for round 16. So, good luck picking, I think. Good luck picking because I don't think there were many standout players, but, I think I've got my answer. It could be joking or not, but I'll say it after everyone else says theirs. Champ, I'll start with you first. Who was your round 16 player of the week?
You know, I was really close to giving it to Twall just because he scored a try. I was really close to giving it to Twall, but look, it was a toss-up for me. It was a toss-up between two fullbacks, and that was Joseph Manu and Clint Gutherson. But I think I'm going to have to go with Clint Gutherson there. When it came to Parramatta scoring tries, he was just always there, and he was always just finishing off those tries, like giving a good ball out to Sivo, or just he was always there in defense, always there to swallow up the ball, and that's what you just need from a fullback, someone who can just be reliable. And I know you're not too fond of Gutherson and Pro Enzo, but I think he had a fantastic game, and yeah, he was a really big part of the Parramatta's big win over you guys. So I think my player of the week is going to go to Clint Gutherson.
Fair enough. Hey, hearing that? Fair enough. Cody, in your opinion, who's your round 16 player of the week?
I'll have to give it to another fullback. I'll go Scott Drinkwater, scoring the
hero.
final try in Golden Point, almost to another draw this year, which that's rare we see. Going over and beat the Panthers 27-23. Unbelievable he played.
Yeah, that last try towards the end, that was crazy. Got the match winner, and yeah, when Drinkwater's like that, he's at his obvious best. So yeah, that's a good choice there. I think it's a great choice to Drinkwater. And Dragons fan guy, who's your pick for player of the week?
I agree with all you guys, but I when I pick a player of the week, I look at different stuff. So I look at the position I play and take that into account when I look. So I can't mention one. I'd have to go with Tom Hazelton from Cronulla.
Nice.
I was really impressed with him this week, and Drinkwater, in my opinion.
Yeah. Out of them two, who's the one you're picking though?
Hazelton.
Yeah, no, that's a good choice as well. Yeah, look, as for me, it's not easy because I don't think there are too many big name players or standout players, if I'm being honest. But I think I'll go with Drinkwater as well. I think that's just the choice that seems to be most popular, only because he got that match winner and he had a big game. And I think with Robson and Cotter and all these other players out for the Cowboys due to Origin, I think he was a player that had to stand up and do a job, and he did in a big moment like Golden Point. So that's fair play to him. But I was going to say Alex Toll as well as a joke, but no. Go.
In our hearts, Twall is player of the season now, and he's scored a try.
Yeah,
but if I could also mention, just like as an honourable mention, Jake Granville this week as well. For his age and how he did, I'd give him an honourable mention as well.
No, that's a good call as well, because he was a tackling machine on Friday. Like his defence was huge, so I don't mind that as another player that should get a mention. So that's a good choice there. But yeah, look, if you don't have 12 in your heart as your player of the week, then you must go to hell, not heaven. But yeah, have to add that. But yeah, everyone's saying Drinkwater. Joseph Manu, Nick says in the chat, yeah, Manu was good at fullback.
289 meters he made. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, Manu always kills it at fullback, doesn't he? Like at 5'8" wasn't working, I don't think, at Roosters, but at fullback when he plays there, he's a totally different player, isn't he?
I can see why a lot of people would rather see him at fullback. I reckon he's built for it.
Definitely. No, he definitely is. I guess it's hard when Teddy's there, but if you ever wanted to play fullback full time, I think there's clubs that would chase him for sure. So
definitely, definitely.
Yeah, we'll see if he ever wants to, I guess, do that. But no, he was huge. But we'll get into the topics now. So We will start topic number one with an absolute bang because this is something that I think Dragons fan guy will get fed up over. But look, the biggest story out there, Ben Hunt, Ben Hunt is the biggest story going around in the comp at the moment because he has officially asked for a release effective immediately by the Dragons. He doesn't want to be there. He wants to leave the club. He's obviously hurt by something that's happened there. And, he wants to leave the club effective immediately. And I think Dragons fans are hurting because he's their captain. He's probably their best player in that club, and he wants to go. And even if the Dragons deny his release, he's even keen to pay himself out, which is that says a lot.
That's unheard of.
Yeah, I've never heard that before.
Never heard of it.
So obviously he wants to leave early, obviously. So that's shocking in my opinion. But Dragons fan guy, the stage is yours, mate. Give us your honest thoughts on Ben Hunt's release.
So I personally think we should just let him go. Like I really don't want a player at my club who doesn't want to be there. Because there's a heap of young juniors and a few other players in our squad that would love to take that number 7 jersey who have got passion for the club. And if he doesn't have that passion anymore or want to be there, I think we should just let him go because I don't think he's going to go want to stay. And I saw what our CEO Ryan Webb said, but I can't see him staying. If he's willing to pay his own money to go, just let him go. It's not worth trying to convince him if he doesn't want to be there. It's upsetting, but I really think that Sutherland is ready for that 7 jersey, and I think he's ready for it now. It's just annoying. I don't know why. If he had any concern before re-signing, like I really think the club's kicked themselves in the arse with the whole Griffin situation. I think Griffin should have never been re-signed because then Hunt probably wouldn't have re-signed. It's a complicated situation. But I really care about the football side of things, and I just don't think we should keep him. It's upsetting when he's your captain and best player, but what's the point of having someone worth, I don't know what he's on now, worth of our club, something about around the $1 million, around that type of area. It could free up money for the club, and I just can't see him being convinced to stay if he's willing to ask for a release and pay his own money. I've never heard of that before.
No.
I just think we ought to just let him go and pardon me, and move on. Just move on with it now. Just worry about football and that. I think that's a common thing at our club. We just don't worry about football as much. We just bite into this media stuff and all of this player stuff when it should just be worrying about football. So, I'd just let him go. If it was up to me, I'd just let him go.
Yeah, fair call, bro. Sorry, guys. Yeah, just that there's some sort of little glitch or audio I keep hearing in the background whenever someone speaks. It's just really annoying me now. So if someone's audio can just be checked out, if that's all right. I just keep hearing it whenever someone's speaking. That's all. But no, well said, bro. I think as a Dragons fan, you explained yourself really well there. In your opinion, would you drop Ben Hunt if he can't get a release early, like for the rest of the season in New South Wales Cup?
I guess I personally would, but it's a really hard call to make. I think it must be my mic. I think.
Yeah.
Let me check. I'm gonna turn it off and I'll be back.
No, it's all right, bro. It's all right. Yeah. But yeah, it's a tough situation because he's our biggest high-profile name player there. Wants to go, so if he can't get a release, then I think dropping him to reserve grade is the right call. I feel like. Champa, what's your whole thoughts on the situation? Ben Hunt wants to leave Dragons and wants to even pay himself out. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy to see, and I saw reports on Fox League. I don't know if they're confirmed or true or not, but I think the Dragons are set to deny that request to have Ben Hunt leave the club. Honestly, I see both sides of both parties. On Ben Hunt's side, he already stated that he didn't want to play fullback. I mean, not fullback. He didn't want to play hooker, and they were training him at hooker. And I think it has to do something between Ben Hunt and the board or the Dragons, because not too long ago for Ben Hunt's 300 game celebration, I'm pretty sure no one of the board was even there in attendance to celebrate that with him. So it shows that it runs deeper than just a couple of days ago. This has been going on for probably weeks or even months, just not given the media surface that it has now. And on the same side, I see where the Dragons are coming from. Letting go of your captain, your best player, especially with the position you guys are right now, being the bottom four side. You can't really risk letting anyone of that caliber go, because it leaves a big hole for another player to fill in. And Ben Hunt, I don't want to say he's been carrying the side, but he's been a big part of the Dragons, or the Dragons' recent wins, most of their success. He was close to winning the Dalian. I personally think he should have won the Dalian award last year, but he was very close to getting it. It shows the level of the player he is, but it's a very, very messy situation. And if Ben Hunt is willing to pay himself out, it shows that he's doing everything it takes to get out. Now, I don't know if this is mean that Ben Hunt's going to be unprofessional and try and throw a game, like purposely play bad just so he can get dropped. I'm sure he's too much of a professional to do that, but yeah, it's just I agree with Dragons fan guy. I think it's better for not only the club but as the fans to see Ben Hunt go and give that position to someone more deserving, more hungry to be a part of the Dragons, because it's obvious Ben Hunt doesn't want to be a part of the Dragons, and keeping him there is going to create more of a toxic environment within the Dragons, and that's the last thing they need with them just signing a new coach, and with how the years have been recently for them, a 5-year drought from making finals footy. And I personally, I like the Dragons. My stepmother's a Dragons fan, and I miss the days of the Dragons when they were that powerhouse. You look back at the mid 2000s, like the 2010s, when they were the absolute powerhouse that they were. You look at them now, and they're no much better than us. So I think looking towards probably a brighter future, with Flanagan coming into the side, the Dragons are going to have a new fresh start. And I think that fresh start should also start with getting rid of Ben Hunt. He doesn't want to be there. It's creating a toxic environment. Yes, he is your best player, but I'm sure that the mental health of the players surrounding him and even Ben Hunt means more. So I think it's best that they part ways and grant Ben Hunt his immediate release. So I think Ben Hunt should go.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's no use having a player that's unhappy being at the club. I think that's the right thing to do, is release that player and let them not affect the rest of the squad. So I think if the Dragons are serious about having a good ending to the year and not wanting to lose any other players because of Ben Hunt's situation, then let Hunt go now. I think that's the right call to make. And lastly, Cody, what's your quick thought on the situation, mate? It's a real mess, isn't it, with Ben Hunt's request for a release?
Yeah, it's strange for him to request a release and pay himself. It's what, 150 grand to get out of his current contract.
That's how much, yeah.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's been going on for too long. Honestly, if he doesn't want to be there, just let him go. There'll be less tensions, less drama, and maybe the Dragons will actually do a lot more better on the footy field.
Yeah, they could, because I think if a player like him is not going to want to play there anymore and wants to go, then absolutely, yeah, I think it's best to let him go. But look, I'll just say this. I think Ben Hunt is having a bit of a dummy spit, in my opinion. I think even though he was that close to Hook, like they were this close together, him and Anthony Griffin, I still think Ben Hunt's treating the Dragons with disrespect, in my opinion. I think him as a captain needs to show a bit more, I guess, better attitude and a bit more of a professional way of, I guess, thinking, because I know he probably doesn't want to be there because, Griffin was his best mate and coach, and obviously was happy when he was there. But I think now it's like, if he's going to do this, let him go, obviously. But it's a real dummy spit by Ben Hunt, and I think it's really disrespectful of him to treat a club he's been at for so long like this, because I think, he's been at the Dragons, since 2018. Now, I know that they made finals once, but in those 5 years he's been at the club, he's carried them, I'd say, and he's been that player that's always been showing up every week and give you 100%. But it's a shame that the other players can't follow. But yeah, look, Hunt. If Hunt wants to go, he will go, and I think he should, and he probably will. But
yeah.
I
I think I'll also ask this question. Anyone here can answer it. Now, I'm not trying to be a clickbait journalist or trying to create any fake news, but do you reckon? And I personally think that this could be another reason. But do you think there's problems between, let's say, Ben Hunt and another player or another players? Could that be a huge issue, or do you think that's just probably not the case?
It's a tough one because I think there is some issues at the Dragons that we don't know about, and I think there's some deeper issues than we think. But since Ben Hunt's so high profile and is so big, and I think now, since everyone probably at the club knows he wants to leave, I think that could create some sort of tension with some players, but that hasn't been discovered by the media yet. But definitely will be some issues after. I think if this does go a bit further, so it really could be, I reckon. But
if I can mention one more thing about this, when has ever a player signed a contract with a clause saying if this particular coach goes, I go with him? He never signed a contract ever saying that. That's a rubbish thing that's been brought up. I just feel like that's why would that ever matter? I mean, and for him, if he's not happy with getting a new coach, he's going to go to another club. He's going to get a new coach anyway. So it's not like he can get the same coach. I don't think Griffin's even coaching now. The last I heard, he's just helping with local football. So it's just a bizarre situation, and I'd like it to end because it's just going to keep coming up and players get distracted. And I find that once these things come up for our club and other clubs, they just can't get out of it. And it just creates a whole lot of other stories and brings up every other story under the moon for the club. Whereas if we just let him go now and concentrate back on football, that's all we need to do. That, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, that's pretty fairly said too, I think. Look, wherever he goes, it'll be interesting. But as for Ben Hunt and his situation, I don't like how he's pushing for a release like this early in the season.
Here's another question for you boys to answer. If he backs up from Origin Game 2 on Saturday against the Warriors, do you think he'll be booed heavily against them at Wynn Stadium?
There's a good chance.
He will. I reckon he will. Because the Wollongong faithful won't like that, what he's been doing at the club.
No, not. I know that from what I hear is, as a member and different things, that at the 10th minute of the game we'll be turning our backs on the game. Actually, no, the 7th minute of the game, the members will be turning their backs.
Oh, really?
On the game.
Wow.
I don't know if I particularly do that, but that's what I know from other members that I'm friendly with. So it's just going to complicate things. It's just a test. I just want it to buzz off. Just buzz off. Just get a big slingshot, sling him off, and retrieve the money.
Oh,
yeah. No. Look, I don't blame Dragons fans for being that upset. So if that does happen on Friday, I'm keen to see how it all goes. But look, we'll move on now. On to topic number 2, and this is about the Bulldogs now and their situation, because the Bulldogs themselves are struggling and they are in a lot of trouble, I think, because after yesterday's performance against the Sharks, it just indicates to me that there is some deep problems with the players and the way they play. And Gus Gould's obviously on Twitter. He keeps the fans updated. He always tells and I guess spreads the message across to fans of what's happening. But even with a new coach, who's Cameron Serrato, and even with a few new players this year, they're still in the bottom 4. They've only got a couple of wins this year and more losses than wins. So what's the issue? I don't think there's much excuses anymore, to be honest. Champ, I'll start with you on this one. Is Gus Gould the one to blame here for the Bulldogs' mess, in your opinion?
No, I would not blame Gus Gould one bit. as far as I'm concerned, yes, while he does have some control over the team and how they play, the real reason is behind the coach, and what I will say more is the players. And I think the ones that are hurting the most are the fans. With Cameron Serrata coming into the team, with Reed Marhuni and Kikau, all coming to the squad. Yeah, the fans were promised, like it was like the Bulldogs promised them a top eight team, a team that will contend with the likes of the Panthers, with Rabbitohs, with the Storm, and now they can't even contend with some of the bottom four teams, and they're running second last. And I honestly put them. I put them 6 on my ladder predictor. I thought, with these new signings, with Cameron Serrata, who's been, around the Penrith system, which is like getting touted as a new Storm system. It's like they had the road of success ready for them, and for some reason they've just done the entire opposite. I do feel like some of the issue, some of the blame is towards the players. Like, all right, it's a new team, and it takes time to fully gel as a team. But I look at some of these players, and it's just they look dog shit, and the way they play. And look, I've been very critical about Kyle Flanagan, and I have said that he is not a first grade player, and I'm going to stand to that. Yeah, he's been playing good in New South Wales Cup, but it shows the difference of footy. It is, yes, he may succeed in New South Wales Cup footy, but put him in first grade and he struggles. He never delivers. I can't remember one time Kyle Flanagan has delivered in first grade, not once. And I think, and Josh Reynolds is another reason. All right, he's washed up. Let's be honest. Josh Reynolds is washed up. He's not the player he once was. He's not the player he once was. Those years are behind him. And I think it's better that they just get rid of Flanagan, get rid of Reynolds, and get a fresh new start within the halves. Matt Burton, that they should honestly build the team around Matt Burton, because he is the man to carry them to the future. You got Stephen Crichton coming to the team next year, which is most likely he's going to play fullback, which is going to be great for them. But it's just, I think it's just the players not playing up to the expectations that they should be. I think Gus Gill, I still think he's one of the smartest minds in the game, and I really think if he can get a team going any day. But it's just I look at this Bulldog side, and it just I think they bought into their own hype. That they brought into their own hype. They heard the rumors around them that the old Bulldogs are back, and they bought into it. They thought, yeah, you know what, with all these players here, we're going for it. We are the top 8. Here we come. And it's just been the complete opposite. So I think this is a good sort of a good snap back to reality for them. This is a good reality check brought back down to earth. And midway through the season, I don't think they can make the 8, but they can at least finish well. So maybe use this as a realization that, okay, we brought into our own hype and we put ourselves in this situation. Let's build back up and finish the season off well. So if I'm gonna point fingers at anyone, I'm pointing fingers at the players.
No, that's well said, and that's fair enough, I think. As for your comment on Flanagan, I think he hasn't delivered that well in first grade many times. I agree. But I think the pressure of halfback's too much for him. I think a few players succeed at halfback, and not many young halves do. So it probably wasn't the position for him. And I think that position change to hooker has done him good. Like yesterday's try scored, that was from dummy half, and that just goes to show that he does have attributes to be a good hooker, like scoring a try like that from dummy half. And in the New South Wales Cup, he's doing the exact same. So maybe halfback isn't the role for him, but we'll see how he goes. I guess if he gets an opportunity again at hooker in first grade this time, not halfback. Look, Dragons fan, I think your audio is playing up again, bro. Sorry, I just keep hearing it.
Is it?
Sorry,
can you hear me, or is it affecting my vote? Is it affecting me fully? Or?
Oh, we can all hear you. Just that when I think just there's that little buzz and that little beep in the background.
I don't know what it is, to be honest. I don't know what. I'll try and fix this again.
Yeah, it's all good. If you can't, we'll just go on the show. But it's all good, bro. It's all right. Cody, what's your thoughts on this one, mate? the Bulldogs in their situation at the moment? Do you think Gus is someone that should be copying the blame for this sort of form?
I don't think so. No, he just tweets out what's been going on with the Dogs and that. But I think honestly, I'll agree with Champa. Blame the players. They were overhyped so much to start the year, and now look where they are. Many injuries. No, that doesn't mean that any excuses. No excuses. But yeah, with Flanagan as well. He's been a terrible halfback for him. And he scored 4 tries in New South Wales Cup 1 week or 2 ago, and he plays terrible against the Sharks yesterday.
Yeah, I don't look. I'll be honest with you all. I don't think he was terrible. I think he tried his heart, gave his heart, and tried hard. But he's not a halfback. I think that's the unfortunate answer. He's not a halfback. I think Hooker's done him good, and it's been proven. So I think that's his position going forward. And Dragons fan guy, what's your quick thoughts on this? Like, is Gus Gould the issue for the Bulldogs in their form because of who he's picked and what's happened there, or do you think it's more of just a playing wise issue?
I thought for the last couple of years that the Bulldogs are trying to look too much into the future, and I think they should look more into the current season. And I just think Gus has got a great footy mind, but I think if I was Gus, I wouldn't keep promoting all these young players when they've got to deal with the players they've got, and they've got to. I feel like they've got to stop signing so many players. I think they've signed so many outside backs, so many centres now that will be there next year. When they're not covering positions they really need to, and I agree that they should build around Burton. I mean, who have they got for next year in the centres? We don't know if they're going to keep Avarillo or Alamotti.
Yeah.
And, Hayes Perham could play there. They've Alamotti, Avarillo. They've got lists and lists of centres and wingers. I just feel like they worry too much about the future. In my opinion, I think they should just worry about the current. That's what in my personal opinion, I thought that that's what I think, that Gus and Serrato just keep talking about the future of the club, and they should think about the current season and stop looking ahead so much.
Yeah, if I could quickly, I just want to throw Hayes Perham's name and the players that they should just clean out of the Bulldogs. He is, without a doubt, one of the worst players I've seen this season, and I don't know which game it was, but his game at fullback, I'm pretty sure it probably would have been the Souths game where he played fullback. It was probably the worst fullback performance I have seen in my entire life. So Hayes Perham, it would benefit both of them if he got out of the club real quick. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. That's a good player to bring up, because I've been really critical of Hayes Perham too. I've been watching him closely, and these errors, and there's that stupid little slice at close to the line every time he runs the ball, but then runs straight. Always wants to put on a step, wants to look like Superman, the idiot. But I think now it's like he needs to be dropped. He needs to be dropped. It's just I don't think he's a player that is a first grade material type player. So I think then they cut him. Yeah. But as for what you said, Dragons fan guy, I agree. I think Gus and Serrato are looking too far ahead in the future, because if you go on Gus' Twitter, he always talks about the pathways and how it will take many years until they become superstars themselves and will be, I guess, a great club once again that's built up with all these great players. So they got to really focus on the team. And for what I see from Gus sometimes, I think he's just not serious enough about the team. He's like, he's like Serrato is picking the team and he will get the best out of the players eventually. Well, you've been given another 12 months to rebuild this team and go again and get everything right in the off season. But I hate to say it, but I think Cameron Serrato could be Trent Barrett 2.0. I just get this weird feeling it's going to be happening again. I know Serrato is probably better than Barrett in some ways, but I think he's trying to put a structure around the Bulldogs that does not work. Because when they were playing free footy with Mick Potter last year, they were scoring a lot more points and they play more as a team. But it seemed like the structure that Trent Barrett once implemented into the Bulldogs, Serrano's doing the exact same thing. So it's not working, and I don't know. It's a
Who
tough
do the Bulldogs have this week?
What's that?
Who do the Bulldogs have this week?
They have the bye.
Oh, they have the bye. Who do you have the following week?
Round 18.
If anyone knows, if anyone in the chat knows, just quickly drop it, because I think that game, whoever they have, I think it's going to show. You know, after this thumping they've received against the Sharks, I think a bye it gives them time to refresh things and really, you know, sort of reinvent themselves, and they can go out in that next game in round 18 and show that they've, you know,
They play the
patched up
Knights
a lot.
in round 18.
All right, that's a good team for them to rebuild themselves on against the Knights, a team who are in a similar position to them. So if they win that game, it shows they're heading into the right direction.
Can I just ask everybody a question? Who do you think has been the best Bulldogs player this year?
Best player this
so
year for
far.
Bulldogs.
So far.
I'd go either Averillo or Burton, in my opinion.
Yeah, Matt Burton.
Oh no, Jackie Preston's as well.
Preston, yeah, I like him. Yeah.
He's on his way to he's on his way to being Rookie of the Year. So I might actually go Preston's actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Preston too. Yeah, I agree. Preston for me. Cody, who did you say?
Yeah, Matt Burton for me.
Yeah, that's not cool. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think the Bulldogs have time to still build, but you know, I don't think there's much excuses as they've rebuilt twice or three times now in the space of 2 years. So they're not getting results, and you know, they signed every player in the world, but yet there's injuries and have no depth apparently. So I don't know what you can say to that. But,
and I think they should stop trying to link themselves to the Panthers as well. I think they're just way too connected to them. Like if you pull off the jersey, the Bulldogs jersey, it's a Panthers logo under it. It just
pretty much, yeah.
Just tried to. How many players have they got that have played for Penrith, or staff that they've got that have been at Penrith? I just feel like that's something as well, because I know they've got a lot of good local juniors that I think they should keep their eye on instead of buying everybody from Penrith.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look, Gus is at fault for that, I'd say, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see the Bulldogs build up and get better. All right. On to the third topic now. This is some really interesting news that's developing. So Roger Tuivasa-Sheck's obviously signed a deal for the Warriors next year for 2024 and 2025. And yeah, he missed out on the All Blacks squad, because I think once you miss out on the All Blacks squad in Union, your whole season's over. You don't play again, I believe. I don't know if that's correct or not. But
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so now he'll be out for the rest of the season. He's not going to play anything really. So, and I think the new deadline for the NRL is now August 7th for players to make transfers and come in. So now that he's not going to play, he wants to go to the Warriors early. So I don't know. Should this happen? Should the Warriors be him early? And if so, where does he play? I'll start with you first, Dragons fan guy. What's your thoughts on this one? Should the Warriors get RTS early or wait till next year?
Look, I think if he's not playing, definitely get him here. I think when he announced the signing, when he was coming back, I think it's a great signing for him. But I don't know where they really play him. It's a hard one to fit in for me. But I'd probably put him in the centres, probably.
Centres, yeah.
I don't know if that's where I'd permanently put him, but if he comes this year, I'd put him in the centres, because I've actually enjoyed watching the Warriors play this year, and I think he'd be a great fit for them. But I don't know next year where he plays, because I think Chance has been really good at fullback. But yeah, if he's not playing, sure, why I think he should come here. But it's really up to him if he wants to be here early. I think he already lives in New Zealand, to my knowledge. I think.
Yeah, he would.
So, I think it would be a good move for him. Yeah,
Absolutely.
but as well, I think he'd be great. I think he'd be great to have him back in the NRL. So I don't
For sure.
think he'll get a lot of games, and I think he'll when his return game, I reckon the Warriors will pack out that stadium. So yeah, I think he's a great signing.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's smart. If he does come back early, that whole stadium will be packed out. It'll be a sold out crowd because of his return. I think that's nearly correct. Champa, what's your thoughts on this one? Does RTS, does the RTS deserve to come back to the comp early if Warriors want to get him, or do you think wait till next year so they can plan better when he's there?
No, I think bring him back. Definitely bring him back, especially with how the Warriors are going right now. They're looking like a genuine top 8 team, and just adding RTS into that, it's like they're guaranteed for the top 8 after that. It's sad to see how RTS went, and I thought he was locked in for that All Blacks jersey, but for someone who follows Union a lot, getting an All Blacks jersey, it's very different from getting a Kiwis jersey. Like if you get an All Blacks jersey, it's like you've earned it. Like you've really earned it. So it's sad to see him not get the jersey, but I say bring him back. And look, you got to throw him at fullback. You got to throw him in the position he won the Dally M in, and that's fullback. Look, nothing against Chance. He's a top fullback, and he has been for the Warriors. But he's no Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. Now, with what I'm going to say, I don't want to start a flame war or anything, but I do feel like that Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, to my opinion, he's a top 5 fullback of the NRL era. That's just my opinion.
Wow.
Don't blow up at me about it, but that's how talented I see him as. His footwork and his agility. He's just so light off his feet, and his speed is unreal. And the Warriors should, if they have a chance to grab Tuivasa-Sheck back into their team, 100% take them. You can even throw him in centers or throw him on the wing. I personally would have him at fullback. I feel like that is his best position. But yeah, definitely swallow up Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. You have him in the side. They're guaranteed top 8, no doubt about it.
Well, 100%, because they can lock themselves in for the 8 if he comes early. RTS, your top 5 fullback of the NRL era. That is a huge call, but he's up there as one of the best.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. And Cody, what's your thoughts on this one? Should RTS come back early to the Warriors or just prepare better next year?
No, RTS should definitely come back to the Warriors right away. I mean, the way the Warriors are informed, this is the best they have been since 2018 or 19, whichever year they last made the finals. Definitely put him in the centers or even at fullback. But if they can get him right away, Warriors are definitely a contender for the top 8. Even possibly, a bold call here, a finish for the top 4.
Yeah.
That's not far off. That's not a far fetch.
No. And if it's the perfect opportunity for the Warriors to finish in the top 4 for the first time in a very long time, this year is the year. So get RTS in as soon as you can. You're guaranteed to finish in the top 4, guaranteed.
Look, I would not rule that out, to be honest. The Warriors are a definite chance for the top 4. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not writing that one off for sure. But, I think, getting RTS early is ideal. I think if they get him now and if he's not playing for the All Blacks or missed out in selection for the squad, then get him early. Yeah, absolutely. I think he's a better option than Adam Pompey, so definitely comes in for him if he comes early. And obviously CNK keeps his spot at fullback. So if the Warriors can get him early, that's perfect. That pretty much helps this season. They couldn't even seal a top 8 spot if he comes early. His influence will be huge, and it's a massive sign if he comes. So
I'd also mention this, like with how good Sean Johnson has been this year, just seeing him linking back up with Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, like their combination was just it was so underrated how good they were when it was playing for the New Zealand Kiwis or even for the Warriors. Their combination was really good, and I can't wait to see that again.
No, it's frightening thinking about it. It's actually scary. But yeah, that's huge. That's huge news, that one. All right.
Can I just bring one
yeah.
thing up, if you don't mind? So I was
Yeah,
seeing an
sorry.
article today with Arthur Sheck coming back. If he comes early, do you think they should also get Harris Tavita back early as well?
That's a good point.
Because I was on the NRL feed on Twitter, people were saying if they get Roger, they should get Harris back early as well. I just want your thoughts on that, because I think they should be good depth for the rest of the year to have.
Chamber, what do you think?
Look, if they have room to fit in Harris Tavita, then I don't see why not. He'll be a great depth player. You know, he'll be great in depth. I reckon he'd slot in well with their reserve grade. And if you want to throw him as a Jersey 14 as well to give him some of that first grade experience back, I think why not? You know, the more the merrier. And he is a talented player and definitely help out the Warriors as well. So if they do get a chance to get Harris Tavita, then why not?
Cody, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, why not? Get Terrace DeVito come back early if he's able to link up with his old mate RTS. Why not? Give it a great shot, and I think it'll be a success.
Yeah, Dragons fan guy. That's for me. I think, it's a tough one because the Warriors don't really need Harris DeVito, I don't think, because they've already got a lot of utilities such as Metcalf, and they've got Murray Martin there, Walker, so they've got plenty of utilities there already. I reckon just getting next year and maybe figure out a better position for him, because I feel like if he comes now, he'll play mostly reserve grade, which I don't think he'd want. So I like personally for me, I'd wait till next year for him. But RTS is a yes because obviously we know his impact and he's proven already. So I would probably say no to Harris DeVito coming early. But that's what RTS. Yeah, I think I agree. But we'll move on. For topic number 4. Some interesting news with the Blues now confirming their new vice captain with Nathan Cleary obviously out of Origin. It's been announced that Isaiah Yeo is now the new vice captain alongside James Tedesco for Game 2. Just a quick yes and just a quick yes or no. Yes or no if you agree with Isaiah Yeo being the vice captain or not. Dragons fan guy, yes or no? Was this the right call by the Blues?
Yeah, I don't mind the decision. Yeah, I think it's a good decision.
Yep.
Up the Blues.
Yeah, up the Blues.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I think it's a good decision. Isaiah Yeo, he is a leader. He can lead that forward pack and take a lot of pressure off Tedesco as well. So I agree with it, and I think it's fantastic.
100%. And Cody, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think it's a great decision. He leads the middle. He's pretty much our best forward there on the field and middle player as well. Why not?
Yeah, I agree with all three of you. I think he is the next best option behind Cleary as a leader. So hopefully his leadership's enough to guide Blues to win on Wednesday. So yeah, fingers crossed that he and Tedesco can work well together. All right, and on to the final topic of the podcast now. Another Dragons-related topic, and I'm sure Dragons fan guy has got an opinion on this one too. Josh Kerr's been granted an immediate release by the Dragons today, off to the Dolphins for the remainder of this year and a couple of years as well. Because originally he signed the Dolphins, for next year, not for immediately this year, but because I guess Dolphins have injuries that they wanted to acquire him as quick as possible, so he's there now, and Kerr's made the move to the Dolphins and to Wayne Bennett. Dragons fan guy, what's your thoughts on this one?
Oh, I'm sad to see him go. I'm good mates with Curry, and I talked to him quite a lot and messaged him, and I kind of knew that he was going to ask for a release a couple of days before it was confirmed. It's sad, but he was already going to go. So it's not like he had 2 or 3 years left on a contract. He was already going to go, and I think it will be the best for his football to be under Bennett up there. And I think it's the best decision for him personally. Going to miss him at the Red V. He's been one of my personal favourites, even though not everybody likes him. I've always seen the potential in him, and I really hope that Bennett can get that potential. And I messaged him this morning and congratulated him on the release. So, yeah, I'm happy for him. So it's sad, but it's a positive for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And
And for me, I hope that with the bench we bring up Fafita, the one we signed from Manly. So I think he's hopefully the next guy up on the bench, hopefully. So
yeah. Actually, how is Fafita going in the New South Wales Cup for the Dragons?
He's been averaging around 170 metres per game, and he's played. He's got 5 tries. He's been our second best forward this season. So
yeah,
he scored a hat trick last week against Blacktown. So yeah, he's been really good. So not really nice guy and really nice guy. So yeah, him or Alex Tuivaki is another one that
he's good.
Could step up. But yeah, they've both been going really well. So either those two guys I'd pick for the next man up.
Yeah, no, good call. And I'm sure Shane Flanagan, after spending time at Manly, he'd know both of them, so that'll help them too as well. Champa, what do you think about this? Josh Kerr going to the Dolphins, is it a good early pickup by them?
Yeah, I think it's a good pickup, and it's something that they need, with the injuries that they have. Get someone who's on their way to the Dolphins with a lot of first-grade experience to really just, bring some of that experience towards the Dolphins side. And this is it's a good chance for Kerr to sort of reinvent himself, going to a new club and a club that's looking to be on the rise with their new signing coming through for next year. So I think this is interesting to see Josh Kerr up in the up and at Redcliffe. And yeah, I think this is just a good chance for Kerr to really break out as a top player. I think that he can use this opportunity to put in 110% in his game and really just break out as a player. So, Wayne Bennett and Peter Sullivan looking in next year and think, wow, we should have this guy starting more often. So, yeah, I just want to wish the best of luck for Josh Kerr for the remainder of the season at the Dolphins.
Yeah, definitely. And Cody, what's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, a bit of a surprise for Josh Kerr to go early from the Dragons, but with the amount of suspensions and injuries, especially to Tom Gilbert, because he's out for the remainder of the year due to shoulder dislocation getting surgery, I think it's a great decision that he's going to the Dolphins now. Like Champ said, new experience, new club on the horizon, destined to be great successful in many years to come. But I think he'll do very well under Wayne Bennett at the Dolphins.
Yeah, he will, because he knows Wayne, and I think that's the right coach to get the best out of him. But yeah, look, I think if the Dolphins have injuries and suspensions, like you said, I think they do need a forward like Kerr with experience. So him coming to the Dolphins is a good mid-season pickup by them. And yeah, I think with the Dragons, they're losing him. They can promote Couchman, Fafita, Tuivaki, and a few other young prop forwards have got. So it's a win-win situation for both clubs, I believe. So it's a good move for Kerr, I reckon. But everyone, live chat. That brings an end to the podcast for tonight. It's been a good show. Just going to cross the hour mark, I think. But you know what? It's been a good show, and I've enjoyed it. So, Dragons fan guy Cody and Champa, thanks for a good show.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I was considering whether I should do the show, but you know what? Yeah, that's one thing I always my old coach Paulie always told me. You push for anything, hard as nails. That was his favorite line, just hard as nails. So, thanks for having me on, and rest in peace to old Hardworth up there.
Definitely, it's sad, very sad. But Dragons fan guy Cody, thank you for coming on as a guest tonight.
All good. Everybody remember to subscribe to all our Champa and Proenzo Vidz and Cody. I'm sure that Proenzo will have their stuff down below as well.
Yeah.
And It's been an honour to be on again, and thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, no worries, mate. It was good to have you on. And Cody, thank you for coming on for the first time on the channel. I'll get you on again plenty of times as well again.
Yeah, no worries. First time appearing on your channel. Not too long ago, I was on Nick's channel when we did the podcast on his one. It was a great show, that one. But no, thanks for having me on. And looking very, very excited coming on in the future as well.
Yeah, no, you'll definitely be on again very, very soon. But yeah, obviously, guys, subscribe to All That Champions YouTube channel, Cody Games Playstations, and Dragons Fan Guys too. I'll have to add Dragons Fan Guys linked in the description down below, as he's a late appearance, but I will get that done after the podcast. But thanks, guys. Have a good night, and see you next week, episode 63.
Thank you, guys.